What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 6 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. Hey, I didn't say Mortal Empires that time. So as we saw last time, Skaven Blight has fallen in a great fight with all of our infantry and, well, and more, because we also had Renee's army in there participating. We did well to obliterate the enemy army therein. Also, I just wanted to check I wanted to see whether the peasant bowmen could be upgraded to the men-at-arms with bow, but alas, they cannot. Can regular men-at-arms be upgraded to them? They can also not. Alright, well, we were going to recruit them anyway, so I guess that's what we're going to do, and keep the poison ones to apply the poison. But anyway, in terms of what we got to do this particular episode, there are still 2 territories belonging to Scryer that we need to clear out, and then proceed to attacking the next snap as Greenskins. At the same time, it seems that the Ramateb dynasty are closing in to once again declare war on us, and the rats are closing in from the west as well, as looks like the Vizaya faction is down to 1 settlement and will soon be wiped out, putting us into a border with the rats, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because we were going to eventually fight them anyway, and it looks like Clan Eshin has a fair bit of territory to cover. I like it. We needed more territory to expand to, and this will serve. In the meantime, in terms of what we got to do this particular turn, let's first see. Sebastien Mercier, you are, alright, the other friar. Technically speaking, you're supposed to go into one of these armies. I'm going to send you around this way. And you should be able to meet up with those guys. Yeah, that makes sense. Alrighty, then, you know what? Now, this guy seems to be going to Campagrotta, but the thing is, there's no way that he takes Campagrotta. It's a walled settlement, so it's not really under threat. Ebino and Ravola, however, are much more likely to fall. In fact, the defense of Ravola is unlikely, but I think temporarily what we can do here is grab this Meline d'Outremer and put her into defending Ebino. We can give her, since she is among the trees, she's actually going to be a lord of an army. We are free to actually take a few points like Flockadoon, Wildheart, and Vissen's Wild Form. And are you able to reach Ebino in one go? I suppose you can't go around it either way, so we could either channel with you here, or we could also recruit. Depending on if the enemy attacks here, though, or not. What do we have in terms of the defenses at Ebino? We have only 2 archers. You know what? I think we get more value out of getting the archers. Yeah, alright. Let us... Is this one of the rare situations where the fire arrows would be the better pick? It might be. Yeah, especially with the fire weakness these guys have. You know what? You're gonna go and recruit a few of these in a second. First, though, let's see how much money we have remaining after we do everything else. We have... So Inez is leveled up, but you have 10th share. I guess we can go all the way through to Steward of the Realm for additional growth, assuming that there isn't anything else that is important over on this side. Mysticism is fine and all, but doesn't really do anything for a lord that's in a settlement. Yeah, looks like we keep going through this. And thusly, we'll grab Bonded Service. Honestly, I'm almost tempted to grab Justiciar first for the additional control, at least while we don't yet have the... although we'll be upgrading this soon, so we will have the tavern soon as well. Not that it matters over much. I'm gonna say start with Justiciar, and then we'll see. Keep leveling. It's gonna be a while. That's Inez. Alicia the Saracen, we're going to keep you as you are for now because Bertrand will need to continue recruiting. Now, I think I've decided that for Bertrand's army, since a bunch of these guys can evolve to different sort of units, like the Great Axes can become halberds, but they can become halberds waylayers with stock, whereas these basic units do not have stock. I think what we'll do then is have Bertrand's army be an all-stalking army, which would mean no non-stalking units, and that includes the Erimont Chasseur, and that'll give us several different army compositions. I think I like that best. So, in that light... Oh, and we can have a Crownless Lord lead one of those guys. I wanted to get either a tough or a disciplined one. +1/+1 isn't that big of a deal, but tough is pretty nice considering these guys have relatively low armor. Huh? Wait, this guy has 60 armor and he's fleet-footed. And this guy has... But the tough one... Oh, but the tough one... Oh, the tough is a bow guy. We need a tough one that's a sword guy. Although I assume these guys can't get mounts, so the fleet-footed would also potentially be nice, but probably not as nice as tacticians stand your ground. Something to think about, certainly. Anyway, in the meantime, let us get, at the very least, a couple more of the Brigand Raiders to upgrade to Arimo. And, frankly, maybe 3 more crossbows to, again, upgrade to Arimo. Not quite as much in the way of melee units as I'd like, but hopefully it'll be fine, at least for now, and then we'll swap it out. Gotta remember that once the Brigand crossbows are upgraded to Arimo, they will be able to fire whilst moving and then back away rather than just stand there and fire, so it'll be a little bit of a different situation for them. Plus, the Arimo are decent melee combatants as well, where the crossbows are not. Anyway, I believe that's it for those guys. We got a little bit of building to be building, I'm sure. River Brienne. Ooh. Definitely the landed estate. Tempted to go for another Grail Chapel, although once again the Chapel of the Lady is not a bad idea. Do we bother upgrading the tailors? I mean, it is still a decent chunk of change, and we can do it for very cheap right now. Let's do it there at the very least. Ooh, Turin most definitely will want to grab the fields, upgrade Turin itself. 3.2k, a little bit expensive, but it is what it is. Here, we could once again do the Weaving House. -2, but a free 300 gold per turn. Yeah, the 300 gold per turn is still going to be more than the 10% income from all buildings, especially into this territory, which will not have as much. Here, however, I think we can benefit from building the shrine. Yeah. Here we'll build a shrine because it is the central territory, and thus it'll increase the money in both of the territories, and we'll do the same thing when we replace the Outlaws camp here as well. That'll be nice. Let's also upgrade the Vintner. At Salignac, then we will probably build the Grail Chapel as well as the Weaving House. Yeah, or Grail Shrine, whatever. And at Summer's Fall, we will definitely want the tap room in order to get the money, or the public order, which will need more money. Yes. Alrighty, and then Briganel, I'm going to leave you alone for now, but I will most likely once again go for the Grail Chapel, if nothing else, for the additional capacities. We can always delete the Grail Chapels later if we end up not liking them. Yeah, you know what, go for the Grail Chapel. Alright, and then Miragliano, you will be upgradable next turn, but for now you're good, and Melaine Dutermer, you will go for... I'm gonna say, oh, these are really expensive because you don't have the construction reductions. Let's go with these 2. Again, you have how many? How many in the garrison? Yeah, just 2. Let's do 2, and then maybe a couple of peasant mobs. Frankly, basic enemy infantry is probably not going to be enough of an issue. I'm almost tempted to say... Nah, just build them. I was about to say, what if, by virtue of building those units, these guys are too afraid to attack us? Hopefully it's not the case. Anyway, we got a new caravan to send, and I always forget, Esteban, you are good for Empire lands, right? Yeah, increased chance of positive encounters in Empire lands. So, we should send you to... I guess Kislev again? We visited Erengrad. We can go Kislev this time. It will mostly travel through Empire lands anyway. We've been to Torlithiniel, we've been to Erengrad, we've been to... We haven't been to Kislev, and we will mostly travel through Empire lands to get to the Dwarfen territories, but for that I think we'd need a sort of Dwarfen caravan. As in a caravan that benefits from traveling through Dwarfen territories. Though admittedly, being in Empire lands more, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, Kislev. Plus we already have a Winged Lancer in here, so it also makes sense. Away you go, buddy. Huh, now we don't get a lot of money for the 7 turns that it takes, but it's all good. We got the Iron Ice Armor from Erengrad, right? Not Kislev. I hope so. I'm not wrong. Because if I am, it's too late. Alright, next, Green Mills, or Great Mills, rather. I mean, with this being lots of red territories, frankly, the Weaving House is probably not the way to go here. We'll keep the Apothecary for 1 turn, but delete it afterwards. Campagrutta, I think we should upgrade you. Yeah. It'll make it better for you to defend yourself. Plus, you do have a port, so you are quite nice. And I love the idea of controlling this sort of the River of Echoes / the pass through the mountains here. Feels like something our brigands might want to enjoy, or might enjoy. Lord not moved, unassigned skill points, and I do believe we're ready to end the turn. All right, as usual, one while the turn is ending, rather, as promised, we will... Oh, no. Which of those guys is that? Please don't be the plague guy. Anyway, as I was saying, while the turn is ending, as promised, we did maintain the engagement streak, and so we will be doing a double episode today. This is the first, and stay tuned for a second episode, well, later today. In addition, if we continue maintaining the streak at 400 likes and 60 comments, I'll do another set of double episodes probably on Wednesday, but sometime midweek, most likely, is when I'll probably have the time. So, do drop those comments and likes below if you're into it. Anyway, let's see whether the rats have another army. I don't imagine they will, because they march stance down to Skavenblight. Ramateb Dynasty will indeed declare war on us. We're not going to call anybody to help, because I don't really want the Wood Elves to... he's going for Camp Gret. Oh no, another stack. That's actually going to be annoying. I guess we could get another temporary lord at Campagrata as well. Alright, Scheme of Doom performed, Clan Scryer, Confederation Solent, Alibian's Outpost, Technology researched, good. Let's get Valor once more, and go for the Vampire Counts one. Norska. Greenskins. Vampire Counts, Wood Elves, and Tomb Kings. Yes, Vampire Counts. Alright. And I believe that's good. Next up, we will head to Campagrata and go for... Oh, that's the guy we already have. Just want to take a look. We got another Shepherd, but it is of the Sky variety, or Lord of Heavens. Would have preferred... we got a Generous Spirit one, which is always nice. And Zephyr's Blessing, terrible. So it's either Generous Spirit for an actual proper lord that will eventually lead an army, or Shepherd, which will be in territories. You know what, I'm going to go for Shepherd, because we need more of these right now that just sort of sit there. So we'll start with you, we'll put you in here. We are going to have to reset you, unfortunately, because we will have to go Harmonic Convergence, Urnon's Thunderbolt, Curse of the Midnight Wind. Wait, will we need Roiling Skies for this? Yeah, we got some bats there. Alright, fine, fair enough. Roiling Skies, and I do like Wind Blast, but in sieges it's less useful, I think. And you do have a basic variant of it, so I think I'm going to get Inspiring Presence for the peasants instead. Alright, I was not expecting a second stack, though. You can, I was about to say, build some peasant mobs, which we can, I guess, still do for global recruitment if we really wanted to. I'll think about it. We'll see how much money we have remaining after we do our stuff. And, ooh, you know what I should have done? I should have leveled up the Green Knight. You are going to grab... Definitely bonus versus large for all characters. I'm going to say weapon strength. Trying to get to None Shall Pass, like so. The rest of the level ups are probably not super necessary. And we'll head to the Bilious Basilica. Just out of curiosity, we wouldn't be able to reach the caverns anyway. So go to the Bilious Basilica. And is this a Scheme of Doom? Okay. And this is nothing. Okay, we'll auto-resolve this, but we will move everybody else in a second. Bianca La Saracen. Who are you again? Favored by the lady. Oh, yes, you are going to go into... Well, technically Renee's army, but she can't reach the place, can she? Yeah. Alright, I guess we'll temporarily put her into one of these armies. You're a Generous Spirit with the Prophetess of Heavens of Generous Spirit. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna go here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put you into March Stance right here, because we'll move you into Bilious Basilica after, just in case there's an army that can ambush you. I think that'll be safer. Frankly, I should have done that with Verna here instead. But if Verna levels up to rank 10 after this fight, which I don't think she will, though. No, she wouldn't even be able to reach Bilious Basilica. What I was saying was we could basically just reset her. You know what? Go here anyway. We'll put Bianca into Luann's army.
Grant me your gifts, my lady.
Like so. Oh, we could have put her into the Fay Enchantress' army. I didn't even realize. You know what? I'm going to the main army then. Just in case you get ambushed and die. And we'll pop you into another army afterwards. What do you do, incidentally? You go for replenish troops, eh? Let's get a couple of points in those. And, well, admittedly, there is the buff the small folk stuff that you have, so there would be a benefit to putting one into this army, just not this particular hero. Let's get Shield of Thorns and Earthblood and Life Bloom. Like so. Alrighty, and I just want to make sure that we have you leveling. And we were going to My Vow, but frankly, well, we're getting both Blinding Majesty and My Vow in this particular case, and there's nothing special right now. We could get Tough as Nails for the additional campaign movement range. Character experience rate. Do that. Armor piercing weapon damage when defending, and there is also the Retinue Trainer to think about, but I really like those buffs, so let's go for both of them roughly at the same time. Alrighty, then we will auto-resolve this. Auto-resolve... Double checking. No, everything looks fine. Auto-resolve. And occupy. Like so. And hey, Luan gets Savior. Oh, did you level to 10? No, you didn't. Luan leveled to 11. And we got the Blessing of the Lady back. After quote-unquote retreating last time. Then, you will hopefully block anything off here. You, Luan, will head into Billy's Basilica, and then you will sit outside there, hopefully unattackable. Not entirely sure, but hopefully. You will also move in right here. I just want you to get close enough to be able to reinforce at the Caverns of Unyielding Shadow. I like the name. Then, you're fine. You, I will consider. We definitely want to upgrade the Water Wheel, the Landed Estate, the Tavern. It's an expensive port, but do it anyway. Here... we will probably want to do military structures. I mean, we could also get the very cheap tailor, which would make us make more money. This is going to be our main money-making territory, after all. Do any of these help with anything, money-wise? Admittedly, I do want a Cathedral of the Lady everywhere, and frankly, we will want these everywhere, but there's no real reason to do it right now. Though there is income from all buildings to both of them, to be fair. And it is in local... province, as in all regions in province. Maybe we build those instead of any of these. Although, admittedly, then we should have the tailor here, shouldn't we? Alright, fine. Cash-generating province will generate cash, go figure. You can be upgraded for extraordinarily cheap. Oh, I love this. We got 8 more turns of this. Gotta put it to as much use as possible. Money, money, and public order to counteract the clothier. I might upgrade you, but we might not have enough money for it. Upgrade, and I do believe that is it. Minus Skavenblight, wherein we will definitely want the tavern. Ooh, and it's still incredibly expensive despite the reductions because of the construction cost increase. But, well, there's no choice but to do it here, so I'll do that. And the Great Mills, what do we want to do here? I mean, we still probably want to build the farms there regardless. The red income from all buildings minus 50%. Oh, Billy's, get rid of that, please. This place will probably never make a lot of money because of that 50%, even with the bonuses, so we probably should then use it for various kinds of capacities. So there is an argument to be made for still using the farms for at the very least the growth. So we'll maybe build the farms for now, and then we'll see. It'll probably generate at least some amount of cash, even if it's small. Diplomacy. Let's check you real quick. To borrow... Ooh, hello. Trade agreements with the various Wood Elf factions. Yes. Well, it doesn't really matter which one we pick. Okay, so do this. We'll probably only have one of them as options. Yeah. Unsurprising. Eventually we'll be trading with the Malji Soro, and the rest of this is fine. I think for a couple more turns, and then we'll start the defensive alliances with them. And I guess start building the outposts in whichever Wood Elf territories we have the option to. You... Wait, no, you are going to go into here, just in case. Huh. This guy could also go for Revola, couldn't he? I guess we're about to see. Alright. Slightly irritating, but, well, the Miragliano can't fall, and Campogrotic probably can't fall, even with the 2 here. Maybe we should build some temporary stuff. He'll besiege us next turn, though. You know what? Let's build the peasant mob, and then see if he besieges. I don't really care about the peasant mob, but you know. And then skip, Lord not moved, unassigned skill points. Everybody else is good, and we're good to end the turn. Let's find out. I sent the caravan out, right? To Kislev? I think I did. Alright, hopefully none of our heroes get assassinated. I saw an enemy hero do something and disappear. Decent likelihood that that hero might have moved into the Caverns of Unyielding Shadow then. As in, to whatever army there is there. I also note that the green skins that were moving through our territory don't appear to have attacked us, the benefit of this being that we are free to then attack them in most likely 2 turns. Huh. Although, the Fay Enchantress may be with 1 turn, depending if we send somebody else to occupy the caverns here. Probably a good idea. Especially with if Verna can reach it, she will be only 1 point away. And if she levels, we can reset her and then replace her. Alright, we should be coming up on the Ramateb dynasty soon. What do we have here? Torgavon. Yes. Yes, trade agreement. Torgavon. Alright, Ramateb dynasty should be here somewhere. Oh, or not. Confederation. Save the cargo, destroy Empire Knights. No. Confederation Visaland and Nordland. Confederation Bordelot, Arrington, Gisoro. Interesting. And so there are 2 little armies, but they're both too scared to actually attack us. Kind of interesting. I do expect them to go to Rivola then. Go figure. Alright, and there's that reduction or the benefits for fighting the vampire counts. Next up, what was here? Construction costs for Bretonnian stable and pasture buildings. I did want to get this research rate and magical thing. And the construction cost for province capitals is really nice, but we can probably go through a few more of these until we get there. We do have the extra valor after all. Maybe we do the Green Tide decree, since we're looking to start fighting them soon. And speaking of the Green Tide, aha! Looks like these guys have moved north and are attempting to go after Parash. Which, you know, fair enough. You will then probably attack Chateau Levar, but I would assume that we can defend it. Alright, so then, Verna Paravon, you're the one that we need to level. You're going to go into Stanza Crusade. I'm going to risk there being a rat to ambush you, because I assume they're sitting in the Caverns of Shadow right now. So you won't get ambushed. Now you're fine. And it's Ikit! Go figure. Minor problem with that. The minor problem being is he has a good defeat rate. You can't reach him, can you? No. You are a lord that should be fighting, are you not? Yeah, generous spirit, meaning we will have you attack instead of... Oh. I can't actually quite tell whether you can reach this. If you're just out of range, I can't tell, but I think you can reach it. Okay, I'm going to chance it because I'm pretty sure this trade gives you magical stuff as well. Yeah, wins a magic power reserve and armor. I don't really care about the armor so much, but wins a magic power reserve should be for an actual army. So you will break the siege and no longer have the movement range to reinforce. Maybe you should still be able to reach it. Oh, actually you can still reinforce. Beautiful. Then we will move the Fay Enchantress in. You can also okay, just 1 second, game, please. Destroy them. Renee, you will reinforce here. Making my way. And the Fay Enchantress will be reinforcing and then backing off towards as close to Iron Spike as we can get her. Like so, and like... Reinforce from here? Let's find out. Alright, you guys also channel, and you should not be in that stance anymore. And you should be in channeling stance, like so. You will now attack. We will auto-resolve this. We have more than enough to destroy the garbage remnants of Scryer. Poor little Scryer. Alrighty, and then we will occupy, destroying the faction. And getting a fitting end. Go figure. Hedge Wizard? No, that's for the Fay Enchantress. And Student? That's for everyone. Bianca the Saracen, you get a unicorn. Good for you. Province secured, Blighted Marshes. Scryer destroyed. Here we will immediately go into Realm of Chivalry. And we got a smithy here, no real use for it. We got a farm which we can keep, and we can keep building the farms and upgrading the... Well, actually we can upgrade that one next turn once we have the slight reductions, because there's still of use here. Then, Fay Enchantress, you are going to go into march stance to travel as far as you can and as close to Iron Spike as possible, with the hope that we can reach it next turn. You guys most likely will not be able to reinforce, but that's life. Then Verna Paravant did level up, meaning we can get her the Peasant's Purpose and Arcane Wisdom. And I believe Muster the Farmhands as well. This will get us another errantry. Ooh, we get a greenskin errantry this time. Oh, that Skaven errantry would have been real helpful, game. Real helpful. Yeah, we'll do the greenskin errantry. Frickin' jerk faces. Anyway, we'll do that. There we go. Then, do we have another prophetess to follow that we need to rank up to 10? We have Lady's Fervor, Generous Spirit once again, as we saw. Windblast, Protected, Faust Protection, but it's the non-overcast version, which is, compared to the overcast version, quite terrible. And while I'm sure I like Lady's Fervor, this is kind of the basis of our main stack anyway, so I think we'll go for the Generous Spirit once again.
Devotee of the Lady.
It's pretty much universally useful.
We have met before.
You can have Inspiring Presence and Root Marcher, and yeah, you will be an actual army, so you will not be getting these, but you will obviously still be getting those. Lovely. And you know what, sit in, I was about to say sit in Billy's Basilica, but we'll actually have you channel. Oh, and I guess Verna, now that she's rank 10, we could keep her in Skaven Blight, though we have other territories where maybe we should park these. And we have no further prophetesses that are ready to go, right? No, I don't believe we do. Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Then, this guy's moving away. We won't be declaring war on these guys this turn, meaning Bertrand, with your army complete, you're free to move down southward, while Alicia the Saracen takes your place at Ambron.
Making my way.
Which should slightly lower our income. About the same. Alrighty. And you're going to recruit in a bit, but... First of all, build this. You're going to recruit in a bit, however... We will maybe wait a turn because there's some stuff we still want to build. I think we won't have enough money. If these guys attack Ravola, there's no hope. And you have gone past this bridge, so you're not going to Abino. We could move you into Ravola, but then you'd probably be able to reach Abino. But if they take Abino, then Bertrand will take him out. So I think we're okay. I hope we're okay. We'll see. Anybody else? Ooh, I haven't checked heroes in a bit. Knightly Temper, not what I wanted. Yeah, neither one of the ones I wanted. Damn it, why are Paladins so difficult to get a decent one? We got a Weapons Master, and once again, I'm thinking I prefer the Fleet-footed ones. At least for now. It's basically between Boost Cravings and Fleet-footed, and the repositioning with the buffs that you have being super short range seems to me like it might be more valuable. And then if the... we got another favored by the lady with the range increase. Visage of the Lady gives us recruitment costs. Yeah, those I don't care for. I think we'll wait on the damsels. Although I am tempted to get a Tech Thief one and just send them into the mountains. You know what? Maybe we'll do that right now. Can we build these here? No. Let's get a Tech Thief. Anybody here get anything for Tech Thievery? On field, basically, buffs. You get favored by the Lady, also gets campaign line of sight. Ooh, enemy hero success chance? Yeah, I think favored by the mist then is the way to go. Shrouded by mist, whatever. Alright, you will be our first Tech Thief. Like so, and if anybody thinks of nice Bretonnia-themed Tech Thief names, do let me know. We'll go for Specialist, Steel Tech, and... Is there anything here that would benefit you on field? Attrition suffered from all stuff, not relevant. Yeah, none of this is relevant. No, 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 no. Did you have a mount? No mount. And I guess there are no skills that would further increase your on-field capabilities. Oh. Shadow will increase our ambush success chance. Okay, that means we probably will need 2 damsels in that army. Yeah, alright, fine. Let's get Block Army and then Wound. Yeah, alright. I believe we're good then. Minus the building, and then the turn ending. Alright, so River Brienne, we will upgrade you, but right now it's not as critical as the other stuff. Not gonna upgrade Abino. We could freely upgrade Abino, actually, just not Ravola, if we really wanted to. Maybe that is a good idea. We'll hold off on these, but yeah, let's upgrade Abino then. Like so, and then the Blighted Marshes will upgrade the farm, but otherwise we will... Oh, wait, no, we'll wait the turn until this is ready to go. Really gotta grab via Datsa as well. And these guys have 4 territories and strength rank 56, and they pieced out with these frickin' jerk faces. Okay. Oh, but attacking them will force us into a war with Remas as well. Oh well. Sometimes you just gotta think about the Roman Empire. Anyway, skip, and end the turn. Hope I didn't forget anything, but if I did, here we are. And here we go. Fleur of the Braid. Will they attack you? Will they attack Meline? Will they attack Rivola? Oh, could have leveled up Meline as well. Oh, and I should have double-checked whether we could level the Green Knight again. And we should double-check whether the Green Knight now has his technology as well. Alright, I was looking for the thing, but then I'm just once again remembering that it's towards the end, so we're pretty okay. I also note that we have Vigrim van Horstman leading the Cabal close to us, which means we have Vision of a Tzeentchen faction. The problem with this being that, well, Vision of a Tzeentchen faction means that they could move one of our territories. Alright, where are you going? Ah, they're going to Camp Grotta, and they besieged it. Interesting. The question is, will they attack next turn, or will they allow Bertrand to reinforce? Guess we're about to find out. With 2 stacks, that is much scarier for Camp Grotta, but we'll see. Settlement besieged, ambusher discovered, chivalry return for Alicia the Saracen. And alright, so fine. Turn this off for a bit, and sit in... Alright, first of all, Tech Thief. I would like to send you out here, regardless, to do some tech thievery. We have the Technology Green Tide completed, and these guys have lost their last territory, which means Skaven will be coming for us soon. We have a chapel in Saint Jacques, but you might die if the rats attack you there. You know, just sit as you are. Again, I'd rather have the money right now than caring about the public order, which is counteracted anyway. Let's also immediately upgrade the city here, and the farm here because it's super cheap. And I guess this, well, actually, this farm is not that cheap anyway. We'll deal with you in a second. You know what, let's grab the Chivalric Code. I want access to these ones. And then we'll probably get one of these as well. Alright, like so. Wait, what does bigger bobbins do again? Oh, recruitment reduction. Which is nice, but not the biggest of deals. Again, there's a lot of good stuff in there. Then, stay as you are. You, sir, in march stance, you would be able to reach these guys. The main problem being that if they run, you won't be able to chase them down, most likely. Although, you would be able to chase down Fritz here, so actually that might be a good idea. Let's fight him in the field. Fortunately, we can move pretty far. You could also reinforce as well, leeching a bit of XP. I'm willing to bet they'll run with the sheer amount of units we have here now, though. Alright, let's do this, and this is as far as you can go. Go here.
I go hence.
90% sure they'll run. Alright, then, how far are the greenskins? Aha, they've taken Parash.
I don't care for this odor.
And will most likely, as soon as we declare war on them, start moving down here. Are they at war with these guys? They are not. Okay. Well then. What about you? You are able to reach these guys? You are. So either we attack right now, or we move past Iron Spike, as far as we can, to make sure we attack with Leone next turn. I think that's the way we do it. So you go here, just past the territory. You will march stance, just make sure that you're close enough to reinforce in case they attack us. Like so. You guys will all start transferring or moving this way. Like so. Alright. And then we try to attack here. Like, well, you're stuck in march stance, not anything we can do about it. Oh, Green Knight, wait. Yes, he did level, okay. I wanted to make sure that we got this. None shall pass, because I would have forgotten after the battle, and I think we all know that. Then, Fleur.
What is your behest?
Let's go. You were saving points. You are not, though. And another point in Shield of Thorns will always be valuable. Go. They will run, unsurprisingly. But how far will they run? Not far enough. Because these guys will now reinforce. Beautiful. Alrighty, then you. Can you move in such a way? Wait, no, can you move in such a way?
Anon.
Yeah, we will attack Anon. Go.
Will be done.
Fantabulous. Alright, giant pile of peasants versus giant pile of skeletons. That's what I like to see. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Are the bandits really fighting for Bretonnia? Well, I guess depends to some degree on the bandit, but mostly no. Anyway, here we go. Now, this army, at least under Bertrand, does fight for Bretonnia, not just for cash. And I am excited to see what all these units look like. So these are the brigands with the great axes. For a second, I thought they were carrying shovels. Like from this angle, it kind of looks like they all have a shovel in hand. And hey, getting hit with a shovel, it's gonna hurt. Anyway, those are the great axe brigands. We've also got we've seen the Bowmen of Bergerac before. And we have the twin, wait, no, that's a peasant mob, but we've also got the regular brigands, which are the twin axe variant, or twin blade variant, and then lastly we should have, wait, this is another peasant mob, where the crossbows. Here we go, we've got I see some peasant bows mixed with some brigand crossbows. Standard sort of affair, but these are the basic tier 1 troops. The sort of trash mobs of the brigands will need to have them fight, win, live, etc. Level them up in order to make them become their stronger variants. Now, it looks like the enemy has decided to peel off some of the dire wolves, presumably to get around our big pile of range units. So we're going to send in the brigands here, or specifically the brigand raiders, and the melee cap, which actually look pretty decent. I wasn't actually expecting them to have twin blades on swordback as well, but that's actually pretty nice. And by virtue of it, we may keep some around and use some. Maybe not in this army, but it depends on how this army and other brigand-style armies are going to look. Or combined armies. But anyway, we're going to crash into those direwolves, which are extremely fragile and will probably get torn to shreds rather quickly. I'm sure they'll dish out a little bit of damage, but we have the advantage here. Alright, and just out of curiosity, will they use both of their swords, or will they only use the one? Let's see, I see one swing, okay. That's one, and they're not attacking long enough to actually see. The direwolves are getting obliterated too quickly. Okay, well, those guys are gone. In the meantime, we're going to start annoying the enemy lord by plinking away with the occasional arrow here and there with Bertrand. And it looks like the Fellbats are going to be able to catch us. Bertrand is not quick enough to get away from them, but we can just keep retreating. The more important thing is the enemy lord who we're firing at. Not doing a crazy amount of damage, obviously, because, well, it's, range lords and heroes are not going to do a crazy amount of damage, but they're primarily here for support. We're going to slow them down, however, using Raillery, which is a minus 35 speed, which is pretty darn decent. If we were to use a spell that slows him further, he'd be unable to catch our infantrymen, even with a vampiric speed. Now, he does manage to close the distance with the pile of, well, this is the regular peasant mob, but we'll send the shovelers, i.e. the great axes, in. Try to surround him and kill him with that little extra bit of armor-piercing damage, though admittedly against a Strigoi, we don't really need the armor-piercing since he has no armor. What we need is just straight-up damage, because he's got regen and the hunger, and yeah, it's going to be a while bringing him down. The bats have arrived together with a necromancer. No, it's a vampire lord. Alrighty, and it looks like we're going to have to go up against both of the enemy heroes, lords rather, at the same time. All the while, we wait for the very slow-moving enemy elements to arrive. Now, we may not be able to just annihilate them in the same way that the Knights Errant cab, because our light cab just doesn't have the damage for it. but they can ride around and do a little bit of damage, but also annoy the enemy army, preventing it from a sort of getting to us in a big old blob, which is of benefit to us. In the meantime, that darn Strigoi just keeps running around in our back lines and just, if not quite, ignoring the brigands with axes, at the very least out healing any damage they deal. So we're going to send in our heroes, put down their bows and attack him, though admittedly the enemy lord has reached his healing cap and should now be a little bit easier to bring him down. Meantime, the rest of the enemy forces are moving in. Skeletons going to start closing with our brigands and peasant mobs. And the fight well and truly begins. Though by the looks of it, the fight has ended for the Strigoi. Now we do have a regular vampire lord here. Who is he going to heck himself? No, he's going to Van Hels himself. Interesting choice. I don't think that's going to help you, and frankly, even in Bertrand's army, I don't think we care that much if we kill a few of the peasant mobs. He's killed 11 of them so far. There are 260 of them in a unit? Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Not able to mince infantry enough to make that worth your time. There we go. With that, fella goes down, and more skeletons move forward towards our pile of brigands. The crossbows, of course, keep firing together with the fire arrows, though, and in this particular case, the fire arrows will be helpful thanks to the fire weakness of the undead. What's a reload time on the crossbows, out of curiosity? 9.5 seconds. Takes a fair bit. We'll need to double that speed at least. Soulfire gonna come down from the fryer rather, and is gonna well fry some of the enemy skeletons. Just out of curiosity, which damage did that do? Wait, where? That was Guy Le Gros, right? And he's got 161 kills and 13k damage. Not too bad. Granted, it's basic zombies and skeletons, but still not too bad. We're holding just fine so far. We got a Shield of Thorns coming down. We're going to launch that black arrow into the midst of the enemy blob. Might have killed a few of our own units, but has done more damage to the enemy A and applied that deadly poison, or no, applied that slow death poison to the enemy. Of course, not enemies have reached us at this point yet, as once again the enemy army is rather slow, but the losses they are taking are now pretty severe. The bounce power has shifted to 100% in our favor, and the 10 odd enemy units that remain are in the process of melting away. Our our raiders were surrounding essentially and double teaming any isolated single entity, or single unit rather, and reasonably effectively, as they were able to destroy 2 or 3 of them in this manner, and not only destroy them but keep them from the fight, which is more important. Obviously, we'll generally want to be using these guys to sort of chase enemies down and go after infantry. Ooh, I noticed the Bowmen of Bergerac ran out of ammunition yet again. Seems that they do in every fight, but unlike our new units, these guys reload at 6.1 second, getting close to the max. And so they fire off their ammunition pretty quick. Just gonna need some ammunition buffs to keep them firing. Decisive victory for the first Brigand army in its first iteration, but they've got time to fight and therefore grow. Alrighty, there we go. Very nice indeed. Our army of scum and villainy carry the day against the piles of skeleton warriors. Unfortunately for the enemy here, without corpse carts and ghouls to support, you're really not going to get far with the basics for the vamps. Anyway, we will ransom the captives once again, and now just out of curiosity. So our anti-infantry twin blade brigands got the 8-10-10k. Solid work or decent work out of the brigands with great axes as well. And out of curiosity, the Brigand Raiders did decent work at about 10,000 damage, actually surprisingly outdoing all the regular Brigand crossbows, with the obvious exception of the Bowmen of Bergerac, who got a massive 38,000. Very nice. Surprisingly strong unit. Alrighty, there we go. Hey, free hell on Discord, not for you, but yes for me. There we go. Now, The question with Bertrand is this. With this army nearby, they may attempt to move towards our other armies. And with this army up there, there's a decent likelihood that they move southward. Meaning we probably can't push Bertrand to go and take Urbimo. Meaning again that these guys will most likely recover an army and send it towards us before we can do anything else. But that's life, I suppose. Funnily enough, if we could trade Viadatsa for Bimo, there wouldn't be a need to technically attack these guys. Assuming, of course, that their territory doesn't get overtaken by the vampire counts out of Sartosa, but I was kind of inclined to ally with them anyway, so... Oh, actually another problem. These guys tend to love each other. The vamps under Kemmler have a distinct tendency to ally with most of these guys, with the possible apparent exception of Pavona, meaning that once we attack Kemmler, which we will, there's a very distinct likelihood that they get angry enough to attack us. Well, I guess we'll see what happens then. Anyway, can any of you move any further? Well, Fleur of the Braid, who is a shepherd, is now able to go peasants per... Oh. You know what? You're gonna have to reset, aren't you? Or rather than peasant's purpose. Because we don't need you here. You're level 10, meaning you're a shepherd that can get arcane wisdom and muster the farmhand, so yeah, reset all skill points. Alright, wounded. Whoops, I didn't realize that you had these guys. Okay, we'll get you... Actually, no, we'll get you, and then we'll just delete you both. Actually, do we want this peasant mob in any army? You know what? Oh, you still have movement range, I take it? Alright, fine. You go here, you go here. Most likely we'll just delete those peasant mobs, but maybe later. You, I presume, can now be disbanded without any issue. Yes? Yes? Wait.
Your coming was foretold.
Good inspiring presence. Disband. Alright, good.
Seers.
Yeah, I definitely didn't notice the peasant mob, which... You know, it's Bretonnia after all. You will, I guess, have to go this way. But we'll see. It also depends on how these guys react to next turn. When we inevitably attack Iron Spike, which will actually be a proper fight. Lots of boar boys defended garrison. The defenses of the Orky settlements when built up are actually pretty solid, so there's that. Anyway, I believe that is it, minus Alicia, who... Askwood, go back into the crusade. It's not a big enough deal. And we'll put you into a Grail Chapel later. And then Inez, you're in the same situation, and we do have a little bit of cash. Do we have any infrastructure buildings that we can build? Aha, Castle Carcassonne. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. Absolutely 100% smithy. Once that is done at tier 3, or tier 4, but the next tier, we will be able to build a full-fledged army. I'm tempted by the RMO hideout, but especially considering it generates cash. But... oh, and we will need the faceless heroes, so we will need capacities of those. To be fair. But I don't know whether we want to build one here right now, as opposed to, say... either a brothel. We are generating some money, so a water wheel would be nice. The other option would be to get the siege workshop, which would also then allow us to get the artillery. And we do want artillery in several of our new up-and-coming armies. I gotta go with the artillery. The Castle Carcassonne should be the fastest to grow to tier 5, because it was the fastest to grow to tier 4. Though, admittedly, River Brienne is not far behind. But yeah, I think I kind of want the artillery right now. Do it. At the cost of money. Which is a shame. Actually, to be frank, there is an argument to be made for doing the same thing here. As in building the artillery. Assuming that there is no other infrastructure buildings that we need that we need constructed here, but I don't think that there are. We don't really need the apothecary here, and the Chapel of the Lady will provide adjacency bonuses once again, but there is no adjacent territories nearby other than the Skavenblight territory, where actually we probably should build some of these. Because they'll make this place produce more money. Yeah, I like that. I like that a fair bit. Also, while we're here, let's go for the farm. And you know what? Yeah, every turn now I think we will want to build a Wood Elf outpost. We have Talzin. Let's do... Who has the most stuff? Kavarok? Ooh. Great Forest Eagles will be nice in several armies. I'm gonna say let's go with Cavaroc. What's the likelihood Cavaroc gets killed? Low? I'm gonna hope it's low. Alright. 2,000 extra gold per turn is gonna be a fair bit, but it is what it is. Next, we got diplomacy. Karoberg. Sure, Karoberg.
On it.
Free money. Gib.
What?
And Kaltasotek, military access? Sure. They are not yet at war with Eshin, and it does remain to be seen whether Eshin declares war on us or them. Kuran, I think it's time to go for an alliance with you, but I say defensive rather than military alliance, for now.
Let the supplicant
I
come
like so.
forward. I approve.
I would assume that they will not be getting attacked by the Broken Axe right now. Caravans, Monfort, and Brigand are decently likely to get attacked. So we will leave them alone, at least for now. And we'll see about all that. Wow. We have... Huh. How did we get so much peasant economy? We got out of 70? Well, okay, I guess we did, like, triple the amount of territory we had since we started with 20 or 25 or whatever it was. So fair enough. Alrighty, I believe we are good to end the turn then. So skip. Huh, funnily enough, we have 2,000 gold again. Why not? Build another outpost. Once again, there was a comment that we should probably build these ASAP because all the Wood Elves will ally with each other and then build the outposts, and then there is obviously limited places to build them. In fact, I'm going to go with Vidrioth. It is technically one of the main factions, even if this is kind of... Alrighty, there we go. Happy with that? Alright, now we can end the turn. And if the orcs don't attack us, we will attack them. Oh, good. War were declared between the Empire and Igrim van Horstman, which is great, because if they kill him, then we won't have to worry about the Zinchans annoying us. Though, frankly, we should preemptively probably declare war on him just so that he doesn't move one of our territories. Because the AI, regardless of the fact that he's far from us and we are not doing anything to him, he will do it, because the AI loves to annoy the player at the... at cost to its own game, essentially. And it looks like no further attacks. Alright, then 3 turns to build the smithy, and then we can start naming our units, because all the newly built units will have the additional armor, and will be the sort of final variants or versions of them. Also, did I disband or reset the other hero? Huh. Hopefully I reset rather than disbanded. I made that mistake a couple of times. It would be annoying if it was the other way around. Guess we'll check right now so I don't forget. Wa succeeds. There's that technology and the bonus chivalry. We've got the prophetess coming in 2 turns for the shepherd, and so thus I reset you. Good. Alright. Very good indeed.
You honor me.
Again, very tempting to go down here. But Arog has nearly a full stack, so we will steal from Foul Peak, or at least attempt to steal from Foul Peak. 500 gold for it. But what can you do?
What is your behavior?
At least she succeeded. Good. Then we will... Let's see, we got 2 turns. These are all 1 turn. I wonder if they're permanently 1 turn. Let's do humans, high elves, and lizardmen first. I think that's a pretty easy pick. Dwarfs, infantry, just look at the ones that give us... this is also humans. Give us additional benefits. Alright. And the Tomb King one, I guess, counteracts the negative Tomb King stuff that we get from attacking them. Go figure.
What is your behest?
Verna, you are a shepherd, so technically you're supposed to go into another territory, meaning you probably won't be able to reinforce here. Alright, so we will reinforce with Renee, who will be leading her own army. We will reinforce with Luann, who will also be leading her own army. One is a generous spirit, and... Wait, Renee is also a generous spirit? Oh! Wait, did I not build a... I swear I did. Moment. Meline? Yeah, you, among the trees. You're the one that's going to be using our new men-at-arms peasants. Okay, good. And in fact... I wonder, what if we send Bertrand to Urbimo? Oh, there's Graveguard there. That's going to be a lot more concerning than what we have here.
Your behest?
Especially with that... Nah, we need to send both, but Arog would probably be able to take Chateau Levar. I only got 5 range units, and it is a fort. Maybe we can risk it. He can't take Summersall, he could take Turin, though. Yeah. There's nothing we could do about Turin then. Alright, fine. Bertrand, you're gonna go to Chateau Laval. And Malene, you're gonna sit in Ravola and you're gonna follow along. Since we've no choice in the matter. Also, we are collecting income here. Yes, we are. Good. Alright, then. Enchantress. We will attack. Do we need to level? Yes, we do. And let's see what we've got here. Now, Worshippers of the Grail will buff our Battle Pilgrims, though admittedly we don't have a lot of them. Anything else super critical? It would be nice to go to Great Time Negation and Arcane Conduit, or Greater Arcane Conduit. Don't really care about the buffs for the Grail Knights right now because, I mean, they're already pretty freaking fantastic. Yeah, you know what? Let's go for 1 point in Earthblood Evasion, and I'm going to say... Minor Settlements Dwellers Below is really quite nice, though I have a tendency to avoid big damaging spells over using lots of buffs instead. And admittedly, also SFO does kind of favor that anyway. Well, maybe not quite favor, but at least enable it. Shield of Faith, obviously. Nice ward save buff for everybody around you, again on short range, but always nice. Increase mobility, and I believe we were going to go to Valet, and then we'll go through Retinue Physician afterwards. Healer, oh wait. Well, no, Healer's at 15, rank 15, so we don't have to save points on you. Paladin. You got 3 points, buddy. I think for you, maybe we will give you a Blinding Majesty and put you into a more knightly army, wherein my vow may be more helpful to peasantry, as in we will send you out of this army and into a different one. And in fact, let me just see here. Knightly Temper, still not the one I wanted. Game. Okay, fine, fair enough. And then Amalric, you can actually go for my vow. Yeah. Melee defense when fighting the undead for you personally. Spell resistance for you personally. Leadership or at the cost of weapon strength. No, thank you. Bigger loss reduction for cavalry. We'll do that. Alrighty. Now we attack. You are currently at war with Bordelot Errant. You should be giving us money for this. Join war against Ex-Snappers. And we could either take 2.6k or we could take the Defensive Alliance. Broken Axe will be upsetty about it. But maybe it's time. They're already fighting Broken Axe, so we're not going to get drawn into the fight. Alright, I better not regret this. Don't make me regret this. Wait, what? I was looking at the trade agreement, but no dice. Alright, fine, fair enough.
It shall be an
Plus,
honor.
them having large territory will give us Vision of Bordelot Errant, which is nice. Oh! Red Duke's still around. Good for him. Alrighty, and will this vision give us any additional... Aha, we found Aquitaine, which we hadn't seen before, so we'll take money for non-aggression and military access. And then we will go for... Defensive Alliance with Marienburg. It would give us a vision of... It's not Karlberg I want, it's Elftown. Oh, we already see Elftown. There's no other way to get access to any Elven units, so that should be the way to do it. Is Elftown... Wait, Continental Exarchate? Yeah, oh, minus 101. Why? Frickin' elves. Typical. Frickin' elves. Okay, anyway, let's let's add a Fay Enchantress. Oh, wait, actually, no. We'll have Renee attack this. Wait, who needs the XP more? Technically you, because you're not ranked 10. Alright, we'll have you attack this and have everybody else reinforce. Well, actually, one of you reinforce. The one that needs it more, which is the Generous Spirit. Because she'll be demanding. And then the Fay Enchantress can immediately proceed to Stormwrath, whatever. Like so. Heroic victories, we shall see. Alrighty, here we go. Just a single stack here, but it should be pretty darn fun. The minor settlement battles have a tendency to be, after all, and they do prevent us from abusing our cavalry too much, as obviously we have a difficult time maneuvering in there. Anyway, the battle will start with our single entity heroes moving forward, and tying up as many of the Gob archers as we can, while our knights errant charge over to the left side. and through whatever enemies they can, while the Knights, or the Grail Knights, Grail Guardians, and do the same thing. Now this time, though, I think we're not going to bother having the Grail Guardians sort of ride around too much. But we'll sort of use them to block off this portion of the enemy settlement and just keep them in the fight together with the Green Knight and Fay Enchantress and whoever else is here. As that will allow the ramp to be clear, and thus for all of our peasants who are still making their way onto the battlefield to fight and join the fray in the middle of the enemy settlement. Knights of Ni are also running around at rank 8 now, pretty darn solid. And just getting the occasional unit they can catch, with the hope of knocking out as many of the enemy range units as possible. Enemy tower is currently being attacked by our only flying paladin, though he's taken absolute ages to knock that down, even with a little bit of help from the Wardens of Montfort. Another nice charge, though this time from the Knights, or the Knights Errant, no, the Knights of the Realm, rather. Who will move in, charge, do a little bit of damage, and then get ready to back off in a bit. But we are doing a good job blocking the enemy off. I do wish that they didn't have that red color scheme once again. Although we obviously don't have a red color scheme of our own, a lot of our units use red barding or mixed barding, some of which is oftentimes red. But at least the peasants look completely different. Well, maybe not so completely. The enemy, the enemy actually has a very similar color scheme to our own now that I look at it, which makes sense. We saw their faction icon was blue and red, and we're orange and red, so it's, or orange and blue rather. So it does make sense that it's very close. It also kind of makes sense that they'd be very close because the orcs that are infesting the Arana Mountains are the ones that are fighting Carcassonne a lot, and I suppose if they wanted to loot some armor and some clothes, you'd get more of these sort of Carcassonne painted colors, so that would also make sense. Anyway, more and more of our infantrymen, or piles of peasants, are making their way into the enemy settlement. We got peasant mobs and pilgrims as well. And we're going to send them up this way, together with the Knights of the Realm as soon as we can, while we continue to fight against this blob here. Also trying to move the artillery piece into position to knock out that tower, but obviously it's a little bit slow. And there we go. Looks like the other knights backed off, but the Grail Knights are still here and fighting, together with the Fay Enchantress and the Green Knight. There we go, they are blocking each other off a little bit. And arrows do continue to rain down upon us, but none of these units, I think, care all that much about it. And the Grail Knights are up to 161 kills and still completely fine. Alrighty, blobby army of peasants is now making their way up of the hill together with the knights here. And we'll be engaging some boar boys together with the orcs, orc boys, biggins, whatever we have here. Gobos as well. But at the very least, it seems we have put one of the enemy error boys, or gob archers, to a rout, and that was one of the important things. And here come more peasant mobs, and they do have shovels, among other things. Alrighty, and ooh, I like how one of the bannermen is at the front. The standard bearers, rather. Hey, boy, is he actually trying to poke away at people with the banner there? Not entirely sure what that's going to achieve, but it does look good. Alright, and the pathing, of course, leaves something to be desired, but frankly, it's a choke point and everybody's blocked off anyway. Our peasants, our melee peasants at the very least, are mostly in the fight now, and our ranged peasants are now engaging in a shootout with the enemy error boys. And considering we do have the superior numbers, we should be able to win the shootout pretty handily. Our artillery piece has arrived and is apparently fighting or firing at the tower. I thought that was a miss, but by the looks of it, it does count as hitting the tower, which is pretty good. One more shot and it'll fall. And there it goes. Oh, it was killed by the paladin at that time, and the newly arrived prophetess, which is also able to fly around. Lovely. Alright, how are we doing otherwise? Bounce power has shifted to about 90, maybe 85% in our favor. We are still locked in combat over on the left side, but on the right side we are breaking through, perhaps unsurprisingly, as most of our single entities and the Green Knight, who's up to nearly 100 kills now, are here. Fay Enchantress is up to 167 with solid 25k damage, once again loving that aura. Malrock probably a little bit less because he's not going to mince infantry, but 60 is not so bad either. And I do love his candle poke hat, so he wins just by virtue of that. Anyway, it looks like the last of the orc biggins defending the right side have fallen, and now it's only a matter of time until we break through. In fact, the reason our heroes and the Lord were fighting without the knights, specifically the Grail Guardians, or the Grail Guardians rode through and decided to rear charge what remains here to clear, or help clear at least, of the blob. Oh, can you launch the... You can launch them into the lava? Oh, that's magnificent. Unfortunately, they don't... their corpses are still dancing down there. Oh, I actually thought that this wouldn't work, but yeah, those orcs are resilient. They're just swimming in that lava, although I guess he wouldn't swim so much as, you know, be on top of the lava, but anyway. That's just fantastic. And gotta be a sort of special edition of the whole peasant hunting thing that we do so enjoy. Trying to punt them into the lava. Punt anyone into the lava, that is. Anyway, the bounce power shifts to 95% in our favor now. Not too many enemy units remain, though, let's see. We have taken a little bit of damage on the Knights of Ni here, who are down by about 30% of their HP, so we're going to have to drop a heal. I think that the big thing doing damage to them, other than the enemy Lord, potentially, would be any gobs that release those spinning loons. And, ooh, yeah, the enemy Lord just knocked out one of the Knights. Turning away from the... from one of the Grail Guardians. Probably not going to be quite as easy to bring down a Grail Guardian, though. We should probably send one of our heroes around this way, but at the same time, I think we're looking pretty okay. And ooh, looks like the Knights of Ni take even further damage, dropping down to about 50% of their HP, so we're going to back them away. As more peasants move in to, if not quite fill the gaps, at least run down the orcs. The orcs go flying right into down the hill, and ooh, I presume that this far down the hill... Huh, actually, they survived. Interesting, I guess that it wasn't enough fall distance. I would have expected them to get insta-killed by that, because this is a pretty big fall. Imagine getting launched in the air all the way up here and then falling like... I don't know, like several stories at the least. Actually, this is pretty high, judging by the height of these guys. Falling from all the way up here to down here is like 5 stories, right? I mean, But again, orcs are pretty resilient, generally speaking. Decisive victory for us, though unsurprising, fun. Highlight being the little swim in the lava that all those orcs took, and now gone, disintegrated. 2 ashes, whatever. Alright, there we go. Actually, lots of work that time for our peasants. Sorry about the little mini cut there. I had to move my cat and then decided to feed him, and then, yeah, anyway. Let's see. We, as usual, got lots of work out of our... Oh, wow. Looks like this time the Grail Knights actually did a lot more damage. Interesting. And the reason that this is interesting... is that we were still facing off against a lot of sort of lighter infantry, but the Grail Knights in this particular fight didn't do a lot of charging. They were mostly sort of standing there and attacking things, whereas the Knights of the Realm were charging, but that made the... The Grail Knights do the more damage, but they are capable, very capable. And in melee as well like that, you don't necessarily have to charge them through everything, so yeah. I guess they're a lot less reliant on the charges to do a lot less damage, and obviously you can't really maneuver as well within a minor settlement like that. But obviously in this particular fight it wasn't just up to them. Oh, 7,000 damage on one of the peasant mobs. Lovely. And the battle pilgrims, 4,000, 4,000, actually less than some of the peasant mobs, but the peasant mobs did lead the bum rush into the enemy settlements, so makes sense. Anyway, we'll occupy the place, and hey, a forbidden rod! While we have been getting good mileage out of that Book of Assure, I still... Hello. Mane of the Purebreed. Charge bonus for cavalry, speed for cavalry, and weapon strength for cavalry. I assume this has to go to the Lord, but that is very, very nice.
Devotee of the lady.
Ah, and I guess temporarily at least the Fay Enchantress will use this because she has no item there. Eventually it'll be Morgiana's mirror, but that needs a tier 5, so it's going to be a while. Might as well power up her limited cav until then. Actually, speaking of, looks like after that battle, the Knights of Ni have leveled up. And enough to become questing knights and soon to be grail knights and whatnot. So we'll level them up, but first let's head to Stormwrath Peak in regular stance, I think, because we're not moving past it to Foul Peak because we can't reach both, I'm willing to bet. Although it would have been close, interestingly enough. And close victory, really? Alright, well, either way. Knights of Ni, I would like you to now go to questing knights. And they need to be rank 9 in order to become Grail Knights, and then I presume rank 9 again to become Grail Guardians? Yeah, certainly takes a while to train them up, but I like it. I like it a lot. And then Renee, you're not going to be able to reinforce? It's unfortunate. I still have to trade the Farquads back to the Fay Enchantress, but all good. I think then, since you guys can't reinforce this, and we have to fight again next turn. I don't know what the auto-resolve will do, because I don't trust that medium casualties. I will call this episode here, and I will do this little fight between the episodes, because obviously this is a garbage waste of time, just to preserve our units. And you don't need the guardhouse here, I think. Nah, what's the likelihood that anybody attacks this and then goes past? It's only if somebody jumps over the mountains, and I don't think that they will. So, as I was saying, I wonder, does this do anything for us? Research rate? But we're probably not going to kill them for it, I guess. So, I guess we'll see. Either way, I'll do this between the episodes, and next time we hit the Foul Peak and destroy these guys, most likely these guys will come down southward with their full stack, so we'll have to intercept them with Bertrand most likely, assuming they haven't gone north or gotten themselves destroyed, which we will see. And then we'll have to bounce back southward to take Urbimo, hopefully before anything else, and then trade it for Via Datsa, essentially completing this area. Lots to do. Plus, next episode, yes, we will be able to complete the armory, which will allow us to now recruit our permanent final units. And let's actually get the Royal Menagerie as well, just so we can spend the Valor. Good stuff. Very good stuff. Plus, I'm excited to do more fighting with the Brigands, and then leveling them up to upgrade into the Brigand variants that we can't build, but can only level up to. Stay tuned for all that. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially threshold to maintain the streak. All glory to the algorithm. Stay tuned for the second episode later today, and thanks for watching.